Hey folks, welcome to the channel. If this is your first time here, I surely appreciate your support. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. We are bringing you something today, guys. I'm out on the farm here bringing you along with me. I'm bringing you something today that I've been waiting a long time to announce, I guess, and bring to you. Something that I feel is going to take the business and the channel to the next level. Welcome to the farm. Nice sunny day, guys. Come along with us, and I look forward to bringing you this one. Thanks for joining us, folks. Today here on the channel, we are introducing something new, like I said, that I feel very strongly about going into the next step of the business here. What we're doing, guys, we are out on the farm today for the first time. This is always weird to me, and every time I set foot on the farm after season, it's, you know, you're used to tippy-toeing around the farm, and it's like it takes me a minute to realize, you know, it's okay to get back in here, because it's something that we take so much pride in, leaving it unpressured all year. And then we got to go in and start doing work and surveying. So I'm out actually today, guys. I'm putting all my cameras. I'm leaving the cameras that are live on my mineral stations and my feeders on the food plots, and the rest of them we're shutting down and collecting, hence the backpack. So come along with me. We're walking through the farm, looking at sign. Got a couple weeks here left of the season, but we are done hunting on the farm this year, and I'm off and running on client trips. So I need to start getting this in motion. So today, guys, bringing you this. Welcome to the episode 1, so season 1, episode 1 of Built by Whitetails TV. And the reason that we are making another portion, it's a kind of a sister channel, I guess, if you will, all within one. We're not going to start a new channel, but what we're doing, guys, is we're going to start the Built by Whitetails TV segments, and we're going to focus them more on the build part of it, hence the Built by Whitetails. Now the rest of the channel is still going to have strategies, do's and don'ts, you know, the monthly to-dos, what you should be doing, food plot strategy, stuff like that. But the build part of it, there's so much emphasis that we are going in. I'm getting back into building more properties, which I do miss. And it's been a big demand over the last couple of years to help folks start building again. So I'm still doing the designs, obviously, but we're going to be doing more and more of the builds coming this year in 2023. So to highlight that and showcase it, because I know there's a lot of questions that arise, and you know, it's easy to tell you guys about it, but sometimes, and in the past, I haven't had the opportunity to really show you, right? So last year the channel grew real well because of the support we had, because we have the farm now, right? And I'm looking forward to bringing you that, guys. So it's not only going to be episodes and footage that we are bringing you from the farm here in Kentucky, my farm. I've got multiple farms in the area that I'm going to be working on this year, and we're taking across the country. To start this off, what we're doing is, like I said, welcome to Built by Whitetails TV. And what we're going to do is, these are going to be found here on the channel, but they're going to be on their own separate playlist. So if you want to look at the build portions of those, you don't have to sort through all the other videos. You go right to the Built by Whitetails playlist inside of the Whitetail Driven Solutions channel, and you'll find all this stuff there, guys. So first episode, season 1, episode 1, I'm bringing you along on the farm today, and we're going to kick it off here on the farm here in Kentucky. What I've got, guys, is, you've walked this with me before in past videos when I first had the farm here. We went in, and we're going to focus on, so this first episode is going to be focused on bringing you insight and marking out, start getting ready for an improvement that we have in my doe bedding areas. So what you can see, guys, is this is the end of one of my food plots right here. The food plot lays in from here that way, long linear plot, feeders up about halfway or 3/4 of the way through it. But as you can tell, this right here, guys, is I poked a hole in what was an old berm that the old previous owner took a dozer in. And you know my feeling about dozers sometimes, right? I love them, but they worry me when I hear folks are using the dozers, and this is one of the reasons why. But what he had it for, it wasn't for hunting. He was opening up pasture ground and field ground, right? So what they did, guys, you can see up above here, is they pushed a lot of that stuff off to the side. So with that said, learning tip here, if you're gonna create food plots, make sure that you don't put the debris on the doe bedding side of the food plots. Use it for screening, use it on the other side, your access side, past the plots, whatever that case is, guys. Don't put that on the doe bedding side. But in my situation here, what happened is he placed it there, and then I was able to come through and poke a hole just like this here. Well, you can see the sign on the ground. What is now created on the transition. So this is a bench. I went through, this was solid cedars. So what I've done, guys, I went through and I, mulched a transition. This is our main transition, our main line of travel around the farm. Mulched this in last year. Had Paul there come in, and he helped me mulch this in. So what I have now, guys, is I have a built line of travel. All of my licking branches up there. I moved it. I had one right here in this inside corner last year, and I used it up there. So we had one camera, licking branch, mineral, all in one spot. It's kind of condensed the camera usage a little bit. But this stand that I've got right here behind me is what we referred to as the ant stand. You can see it right here in the cedar behind me. And that ant stand is on the corner of this build that we're going to start doing. Trying to take a minute here, guys, just to give you kind of an idea on what this looks like. Now, from the stand, that is on the outside corner of one of the doe bedding areas. But you can see what these doe bedding areas, where I need my doe bedding is, it's choked off with cedar. So here is the first tip, learning curve with this process, guys. Whatever you do, if you have the thermal cover wherever you're at in the country, especially the further north you go, the Midwest and north, if you have the thermal cover, make sure that you don't go in and destroy all of it, because if you take it all out, you have to put it back in. So we are blessed here enough to have red cedar. You know that they love to rub red cedar along the transitions, along your corridors. But also in the doe bedding, we need that in there for thermal cover, but you don't want to extract all of it. Remember that. Take it all out, you got to put it in. So what we're going to do, guys, is we're going through this first project. We're going to go through, and then there's going to be updates on this as we come, but you can see it how it looks now. We're going to be doing some drone footages and some stuff of it, guys, here on the farm this year. Going through, and we're going to extract about maybe 50%. Some spots are going to be a little less, maybe 20-30%. So we're going to do that 20-30-40%, let's say, of the cedar extraction. Anything else that's in here that's non-cedar, that's hardwood or softwood, is going to get hinged. If it's poplar, it'll just get kill cut. But remember that you have to kind of use a finesse glove here, if you will, on these. And the reason for that is you don't just want to go in and remove all your cedar and take all your thermal cover away, and you certainly don't want to crush anything that you can hinge and put down on the ground and use, or towards the ground, and use as side cover and food. So we are creeping up on a spot here, guys, that you have seen me talk about before. It's one of my favorite spots on the farm. It is the Cedar Ridge stand. The Cedar Ridge stand, guys, is the next one down from that corner that I just showed you. It's about 200 yards down. What you'll see is this. I'll spin around. So we're on the transition. So you can see we get up here just a couple hundred yards, and it changes into some bigger cedars, some more saw type cedars. And because of that, you can see the canopy is a little more perforated. So we've got a bunch more stuff that we could use in here to hinge. What I love about this piece is, guys, is that I know the rootstock is in the ground. We just have to promote it. But what you're going to watch with me here on this one, guys, is this one is one I'm going to treat really, really kindly. I've got to get these cedars out of here without damaging the I've got some ironwood growing in here, which is good, you know, for it regenerates really good. I got a bunch of maples coming in here. I see a couple cherries, which, you know, sometimes hinge good for you, sometimes don't. But I know the rootstock is here. Just remember, guys, one of the topics here, just remember you have to get these cedars out without destroying everything. So this is where more of that finesse work comes in instead of just a logging approach, right? So in this situation that I've got, I'm going to show you right up here. The transition's mulched in, so I know where the transition is. And I mean, look at the sign. Just a nice snake trail that I put in. This is actually, guys, it's just a blessing here on the farm. This is actually a bench that fell right on. That doesn't happen all the time, right? But it happened on this part of the farm. So what I've got is a deadhead right in front of the tree stand. Not what you want to find. One of our great 1.5-year-old bucks. Not the way we wanted to start this out, but that's the reality of this, right? So, I'll be darned. I need to put a dent in these coyotes here. I don't know what would have caused this, but definitely not what you want to find here. Okay, so what we're going to do here, guys, we're going to show you is, well, you can see the browse picks up a little bit in here. What I did last year is I made a blocker right on the end of this doe bedding. You can see I come in here and I cut these cedars down. The stand is right here on the end, and I come right up in front of it, about 30 yards, so the transition's on the end of it, and I ran this blocker up towards the field. So I pretty much shut the movement off at the end, the tornado effect, right? Kind of blocked it off. And the reason for that is what we're going to do this year is right down here in front of us, right down here 10 yards, tree stands in the background there, right down here 10 yards is the licking branch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this outlet here, this one of the outlets to the food plot, which is the doe bedding corridor, is going to go from here right up to the end of the food plot. But that's going to come down, so there's going to be another hole right here going out to the food plot. So we have building that cubicle, but the one comes right down, and it's going to hit the line of travel right at the licking branch, making that point of impact, right? So one of those deals, guys. You can see, if you can just imagine more daylight in here and more hinging building this bedding. And as we are in that stand, the wind is in our face, everything that's scent checking this is coming out of the wind is coming down out of this bedding area across the line of travel. The wind is right for us and it's right for him. So this is one of the projects here, guys. I can see a bunch of rubs already on the other side of this wall that I've got built. This is kind of a neat little piece here, but just remember, guys, before you go in and just start poking and cutting trees, and this is why one of those deals is it took me some time to really focus on how I wanted to build this, why I wanted to build it, and where, and that leads us to this point. So one tip to touch on, guys, here is when you're doing the corridors or transition, taking anything out of your line of travel that you're building and promoting. If you have let's say if you have a dozer or a skid steer or tractor that you're going to be using to get some of the trees out, always drag them down the line of travel that you're promoting. So in other words, take them down, drag them down the corridor, the transition, whatever the case is. What that does is it interrupts the soil bank, the seed bank, and those areas, a lot of times, because you're dragging them on the ground, will regenerate and kind of activate some of your seeds. Now, it could be seed on top of the ground, it could be rootstock that you're interrupting, whatever it is, scarring it every time you scar a root base. So tip there is, instead of just trying to drag them out all over, drag them down your grid, and those areas, your corridors, which you want to thicken up. That's a good way to do that. Old logging strategy that sadly you don't see hardly anymore, because in the logging world, everything now is picked up, right, and put on these cutty back skidders or piggyback skidders, and put back on the back of them, and you know, taken out. Remember, guys, when you're building these, always remember, about every 30 to 50 yards along that, depending on how big the doe bedding areas you're making, the cubicles, so from that corridor to the next corridor, make sure about every 50 yards you're splitting that doe bedding in half. Don't make a 2 acre or a solid acre doe bedding area, because you are inviting predation to the plate, because they can trap these deer in there. So what I do is every 50 yards I come down to the food plot and I poke one of these into it. Now, what we have here, at no fault of our own, but what we have here is I'm actually going to make just 3 outlets. I got an old logging road that divides, that's one of the corridors. I'm going to have 3 of them down through here, but my corridors are going to come off the transition. My separate corridors are going to come off the transition, and they're going to lead up into here, but they're not going to go all, I'm not going to have a bunch of different avenues out to the food plot on this one, because the wall is already created and it's already made. But I'm still going to be able to, they can take 2 or 3 jumps, hit that doe bedding corridor, get down to the transition and out. So they don't have to go out to the food plot. In a situation like this, where we've got to stand on both of the inlets to the food plot, strong point there. But remember, they still have to be broken apart, but not all your corridors need to always lead out to the food plot, guys, and I'll show you that on the aerial. Hope that makes sense. But remember that there has to be a grid in between, about every 20, 30, 50 yards, depending on what you have. Break those up into cubicles so you don't trap those. You don't trap those does or any deer using it and bedding in there. You don't trap them in. Thanks, guys. Excited about this one. Excited about this build on the farm. I own this one, right? So this is an exciting one. All of my properties are exciting, but this one is one that we're going to be able to, hunt and see ourselves next year. So appreciate it, guys. Thanks for tuning in.